Tell us about Penn State, Kofi. What do you know about this team?
We know about Penn State. We know that they've been playing really good of late. They have really good guards, really strong physical guards, and as y'all know, they have John Harrar, which is one of the most physical bigs in the league, one of the best rebounders in the league. That's what I know right now.
Kofi, you guys need a little help to win the Big Ten, and also win here. But just given the injuries and the illnesses, and how do you guys feel like you put yourselves in this point to even have a conversation about it with 2 games left?
I think we've done a really good job. Thinking about what happened, like you said, the injuries and like guys not being able to play. I think we did a really good job so far. Coming here right now, and it could have been worse. Like you said, guys having injuries and stuff. I think we fought through. I feel like guys stepped up. Guys grew this year. We got better as a team, and we got better individually. Guys were given opportunities to come out and play, and they proved themselves. So at least now those freshmen that got the chance to play this year, they already got that experience, and they've been in that environment where they know what to expect.
Kofi, when you hear the word March, what do you think of? And what's that mean to you?
War. March is war, man. Every time March comes around, my blood just gets boiling. Like that blood flows differently. Like DB just asked me just now. He's like, "Do you feel different when March comes around?" And absolutely yes, man. It's really exciting. It gets me really excited. And it gets me really like anxious. I want to see what's to it. What we got, what challenge we got, and how we're gonna face them.
Coach said he's been talking about the Final Four with you guys really all season, but how have you embraced that? And now that we're getting close to March, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, man, that's a part of the reason why I came back. To take my team to a Final Four or even further. That's a huge dream for every college athlete. If you're not dreaming of playing in the Final Four, you need to stop playing basketball, man. You feel me? So right now it's just about finishing out the season strong, and just getting into that postseason mindset where it's all or nothing.
Coach, how much different is the mindset of the team this year heading into the month of March compared to last year? Coach Underwood said it was a little bit different.
It's definitely a little different because last year we didn't have many dudes with experience in the tournament. I feel like this year we have a lot of returners, a lot of dudes that watched us play in the tournament, that was there with us, and that's been in the environment, and they know what to expect, and they know what it is. So it's just about like carrying that feeling that we had last year when we lost, and just like dwelling on that, like making sure that we remind each other of that, making sure that everybody's like, locked in because we can't slip up, we can't afford to slip up. So that's different right now.
Coach said you guys pushed so hard in that Big Ten tourney. You were a little flat that first practice back on Tuesday. Take us back from a player's perspective. What was that like? Coming off that Big Ten tourney, putting so much into that, and then just being a little bit flat heading into the NCAA tourney.
Yeah, it was tough, man, because you get really high after you win that tournament. Like that's a big deal, man. We haven't won that in 15 years prior to that. So we got a little bit high. We really enjoyed that, and I feel like we just didn't have the same approach that we had going into the Big Ten tournament that we had going into the NCAA tournament. Guys weren't as excited, guys weren't as energetic. I feel like it's going to be different this year, like I said earlier, because we're going to make sure that we reinforce it. We're going to make sure that everybody remember how that felt like, crying in that locker room and just being really upset.
To have that offensive game that you guys had against Michigan this late in the season, how does that? How can that at all propel you these next 2 games and into the tournaments?
It definitely propel us, man. After a long season, guys tend to get weary, they get tired, and they get bored. I don't see that with my team. I see my team continuing to get better. They're embracing it right now. They're loving it, and this is where we get better. Everybody's taking the next step. Everybody's putting up more shots, extra shots, and everybody's just staying excited. We try our best to that's been an emphasis the whole season. Making sure these guys. Coach asked me to make sure these guys are still having fun, make sure that their mind is still right, even after the first half of the season. And I feel like guys are really they're focused right now.
Kofi, what does Coach Underwood do to get you guys to play with a pissed off energy or just a chip on your shoulder? What's he do to get you to play angry?
It's just his personality. That's the guy he is. He wants to go out there. He wants to kill everybody with effort and aggressiveness and all those stuff that he instills in us. And it just comes from watching him. Just watching how he coaches us and just being in the practices and him crushing us and making sure that we don't break under pressure, making sure that we're built for whatever it is we go out there against. So it's about just being here with him and just going through it and having him as a coach.
Only 2 more games in this building for Trent, DeMonte, and their careers. You all have a decision to make this offseason. How are you looking at that going into these last 2 opportunities in this building?
Yeah, man, that's special for those guys, and for myself it is if it is my last game. It's just about doing what we always do. We always try to send those guys off or whoever it is. I'm happy, have a great last experience here. I'm just about going out there and just playing hard, playing our hardest, and trying to get that victory for them.
Coach Underwood said he thought you played your best game defensively against Michigan. What were some of those keys to that for you, as far as paying attention to detail?
Just doing little things, like you said, just paying attention to details. Little things like Mozgovs, little things like court talks. However I can help my team in those little areas, not just scoring and rebounding. You know what I'm saying? Altering shots. Talking more on defense. Moving my feet, keeping my hands up. Playing my hands. Just all stuff like that. He kind of like brought me to the office game before, the day before, and he was telling me, yo, I need you to get back to doing these little things, because he said I kind of slipped off, but that's all that was.
We know what a Mozgov is. What's a Gortat?
So Gortat is basically a seal drive, or a seal pass into the post, where you roll out the screen and you basically seal the big man so that the guard can have an easy access to the rim.
You and Andre seem to have a pretty good chemistry in that. I mean, how'd that pick up on?
He talks to me, man. Andre talks to me, and he's a really special person. He watches the game and he understands it so well. So he would come to me if he sees something and he'd be like, yo, next play, do this. Make sure you do this for me, and I'll get you the ball. I'll do this, and I'll get an easy drive. Like literally, I had a seal drive for him where I ducked in, and he told me 2 plays before that, he was like, yo, those are going to be there. If you can't get the ball, and I'm up top, let's do that, and I'll either pass it into you or drive it. So he just talks to me a lot, and just trying to make sure I see what's open.
What does his return? I mean, I think Brad said that was the closest to Andre he's seen of Andre. What does that do for the rest of you guys when he's starting to have his swagger back a little bit there?
He elevates us, man. That's what he does. He elevates us individually and as a team. With his defense, a lot of guys underestimate his defense. That's his best asset to me. His intensity, his attention to detail. He's always in the right spots to Mozgov. He's always in the right spot to take charges. He's always fighting over screens. He busts his ass going over screens, and that's definitely his best asset to me.
Kofi, I wanted to ask you about finishing through contact. And you got a lot of guys hanging on you all the time. So, how do you approach that? Do you get angry? Do you get more aggressive?
Yeah, I definitely get more angry. I definitely get angry, but I can't let my anger, sway what I do. Going forward from that, I gotta make sure I stay composed, make sure that I do get more aggressive, because in that case, you need to get more aggressive if guys are swinging on you, you're not getting calls. You know what I'm saying? So pressure just tells me that be slow and be strong. You can't always control your emotions, but you can always control your thoughts. So just think positive thoughts and think that you're gonna be the next one.